7-step process. And first one is with an HR, and that HR very often I'm seeing a lot of very often, but this HR is not technical. And so his job is to test if you are will be a good fit to go through the process or not. So he will kind of red flag you right away or not. You can very easily be red flag, but it's on the other side very easy to bypass to succeed those interviews. You don't need to I would say like think. It's more first be prepared and then kind of some techniques to pass it. This so if we don't have questions, this is what I will tackle today. How an HR will judge you are a good fit or not for the company. First is you need to answer those three steps. And those three steps are why are you applying to that company? And even if they are contacting you, you need to do some research. It's kind of paying respect to them. So why that company? It's not just like, oh, I need money at the end of the month. You need to be kind of interested by their mission. Each company have a different mission and identity, and you need to see it. So those things, the more you do, fastest you will get. And what I'm saying fastest, right now it can be like a job of 3-4 minutes, and I can do it in like less than 30 seconds. I'm going on the website and let's take an example here. So I'm sharing my screen. I don't have any startup idea. So I want you to be like really. I'm finding one. Let's get. So I'm going into the news. Yeah, there is a list. So trending profile, Lyka. I don't know what is Lyka. So Lyka is a delivering company that helps you find shoes in LA, then delivers them within an hour. Bam. Okay, so I know who are they, what they are looking for. So they are at a seed stage, small company. They raised a little bit of money, but they don't have too much money. So that's looking at that company without looking at their website. I can already know what they are looking for and what they want. So thanks for contacting me. I'm interested to know more about Lyka. So I'm French, so they will excuse my saying it wrong. Lyka. Why? Because first, it's a B2C company trying to offer a real service here by choosing shoes. You can't find shoes on Amazon. It's never the right size, never the right fit. You don't know if it will suit you well. And I feel that it's solving that problem here. And I've had previous bad experience about finding shoes. Everybody had it, and I kind of like what you're doing here. And why I'm very interested in Lyka is after conquering the shoes market, we can do the same thing with pants, t-shirt, sweatshirt. Once the infrastructure and the engineering will be done, we can go after all the different markets, and actually we can conquer Amazon and take maybe be bought by them. What I did good here is I've analyzed what they are doing, what are their problems, what's the problems that they are solving. I've said that it's a B2C company, so I show a little bit of business understanding. I'm not like I don't do business, or I do good. I'm showing that I know other stuff, very important, especially inside small company, where you need to talk with the CEO, talk to the business guy, etc. After I show that I understand that there is perspective of growth, now we can go to other market, etc. And I don't know if you noticed, but I said we. I put myself inside the company. I'm part of it. Uh, I can I can foresee myself working there, and I've said it. The first part is why you are interested in that company. Second part is why you're good. This part, if you are not prepared for it and you haven't trained, it's hard because you are uh, all of you too modest. So don't be modest. You are all of you. You are hard worker. So I gave already that speech this week, and I will do it again and again. And each time you need it, if you call me at like 11 p.m. Oh, I've been interviewed on 30 minutes, Gaetan, please, and I will do it again. It's you are not the PhD in machine learning superstar writing, interviewed by Bloomberg. You are not, you are not a lot of things. But what you are, all of you, you are doers. You do. And what people are looking for is one machine learning PhD and 50 or 15 or 55 doers. We need people that do. And what you are, it's what they are looking for, and a lot of them. When I'm saying you are doers, I can put my trust. I trust you, all of you. If I'm asking you, hey guys, we need that to be done in, I don't know, like in 24 hours, and I need that tree to be cut. Um, and I know that you don't know how to cut a tree, but I know that tomorrow that tree will be gone because you will have research online, and you know that the mission is important. Maybe it will be very ugly the way that you've done it, but we don't care. The tree will be gone because you are doers. You are not PhD in trees. You are not like a rangers explaining like, oh, it's a hash tree, and hash tree we cut it like that. No, and we don't care. What we want is that tree to be gone, and this is what you are. You are really doers, and that thing I think has a lot of merit because trust me, I've seen a lot of people who are not doers, and they piss me off. I really like when things are done, and when people are not doing, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Do Um, so enough talking here. What you are doers. You've done a lot. All of you, you have done before stuff. You're not. Um, Even if you are exiting high school, you are not like just, oh, I finished high school. No, I've done high school and I was involved in that community. I've done that thing, etc. You've done a lot of things. So here, show them that you do. You are a hard worker. You are passionate, and you are willing to learn and adapt, and that to be part of the team and to do more with them. So this is very important. That thing needs to be done before the interview. You need to find kind of a storyline, telling why you are doing what you're doing right now, and that thing can be like very true. I've done high school. I don't know what I wanted to do, so I've done some. I'm making a story here. I've done some sport, and after like realizing some sport, I realized that I was interested in understanding why of the thing. So I wanted to collect data in order to have more facts, etc. And after it got me, into the thinking of I can apply that thing to other things, and I can totally see myself, on the wrong run, collecting data and building automation around it, blah 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 blah. Or you need to come up with a story, write it, train it, train about it. You need to tell your story again and again. You need to use no brain power to tell your story. It's like, oh, thanks for asking me who I am. So I'm a computer science. I've done a computer science master. I love to build automation, software, etc. But why I'm doing that is blah 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 blah. You tell your story, where you're from, and you just know it by heart, you know. There is no stress to have here because you know it by heart, you know, and that's easy. So second part is about you, and third part is what very often people are missing is why you plus them equal a lot of opportunity, money, success. You need to find why you working with them is working for both of you. You know, your energy and the fact that you are doers. Will build a lot of application. You are creative, you know a lot of things, you know the field, you know, you provide a lot of value to the company. And don't forget the other part. The company will provide to you, will provide challenge. And that's very important to tell them, like, oh, I'm looking for, let's say, let's take the example of Leica. Leica is a fast growing company with a lot of challenge into different fields. The product, I guess, is not finally, you know, done and ready to be cheap and etc. So I will have a lot of challenge to improve the product and to make it perfect for the customer. And after, when we will start to grow, we will have more and more requests. So architecture of, you know, the software needs to be robust, very robust. And I love to build like a robust architecture, and I feel it will be very challenging for me, but I'm up for the challenge. Um, what I just said, it will never happen like that. You know, it's never like a question like, "Hey, can you tell me your the three parts?" So you need to play a little smarter here. And what I'm saying smarter is in HR, we try, the first contact that you will have, I will try to ask questions. And those questions will be like, hey, why, we are that company, blah, blah, blah. Do you have any question about us? Um, it's not because, first, it's not because don't have questions. First, you need to have questions. And in every company, you know, you can use the same questions. You need to have like a list, write them down on a paper, on a Google Doc or something like that. You write them like 10 questions, and you don't need to ask the 10 question, but it can be like general question is what is the size of the company, what is the plan for this quarter or what for the next quarter, you know, you can have those general questions. um, what is the size of the engineering team, what is the tech stack, you know, all those questions, you show some interest. And after, as a conclusion, you know, when the person, you already asked one or two questions, the person will ask you like, okay, anything else? Take the opportunity to share, you know, the first part. I'm no thanks. I'm very interested by like because, and you kind of say it with your words, you know, as a huge opportunity, blah blah blah. You take the opportunity to answer, well, not answer, but to put that first part. Then after you will talk about you, and the interviewer will try to say, "Oh, I've seen on your resume you've done, let's say, that huge college in Italy." I'm kidding. You know, he will tell you like, "Oh, you've done that thing." It's an opportunity for you to talk. He kind of doesn't care about that college in Italia. He wants to know you, so it's just kind of to break the ice. It's going through, you know, that angle, but he's giving you the mic. You know, you need to talk now. So by being respectful, yeah, I've done. I went to Italia because first I love pizza, and that's why I've studied there. But more important, and but you know, I'm changing the scope here. More important, what I really learned there is computer science because that teacher was amazing, and he gave me the passion of building strong and robust architecture. You know, I'm putting keywords here, and at the end, you know, when they will try to tell you like, oh, okay, cool, blah blah blah, try to build to put that third pieces, you know, like the why you plus them equal a lot of money. And when I'm saying money, it's keep in mind a business are about money. So if you say opportunity or challenges extra, that's cool. but if you answer money, it's also kind of cool too. Then let's get back to who you are talking to. You are talking to an HR that doesn't understand a lot of things about tech, and you need to provide a lot of keyword. So here we are in a video game. Each keyword that you put give you points. So if you can do a combo of points, that's amazing. When I'm saying that, I just compile my PDF with GCC and Git, so I'm pretty happy of my thread situation. Um, you need to see like the HR didn't understood that what I was saying make no sense, but I was confident and I used like a lot of different keyword. That's so don't do that, because if you find someone with HR and has done Quasar before, you will understand that you need to there is meaning behind it, but you need to use those keywords. Um, I've done a web application, oh yes, I'm working on Ruby, or I just finished to push on Google Cloud services my last Ruby on Rails application with Ruby with 7 model and controller. I used an API-based system with GraphQL in order to do the communication between the React app and the backend in order to do a good front end. Bam! I just won the championship of keyword here. I think I forgot. And since I was working in collaboration with a front-end engineer, we use Git and branches in order to work on it. I'm very passionate about Git because I feel it's the best way to collaborate between engineers. But I really want now the championship. I'm giving like a lot of keyword here. So important. One part that can happen, it's optional, so sometimes it's not happen. They have a quiz of question to ask you. They're like, oh, do you mind if I ask technical question? And you say, yes, sure. 90% of the time, it will be about data structure, big O notation, and sort. Because it's very easy for engineers to write those questions for HR people, so they have the answer that is correct. If I'm asking you, can you design the Telegram application, there is not one good answer. So it's very hard for someone that is not technical to understand, if it's a good answer or not. But if I'm asking you like, oh, bubble sort, what is big O notation around it? But it's n square. Yeah, correct or false. It's that's easy. And here I just want to. I will share my screen again. There is no secret. So you go for big O sort Wikipedia. There is that link. You go down, and during the interview, so what we are looking with is now all the interviewers are doing through Skype or through phone. You have that page open. I'm not considering that cheating because you understand them. But what I don't want you is to use some brain power to calculate it, etc. Just like, oh, and what is the best big O notation for heap sort? It's n log n, and the worst n log n. I'm just reading. What you need to see here is you are in competition with people who are doing it, or they learn it by heart. They really learn it by heart. I don't think it's a smart thing to learn them by heart, because what is important is to know how to implement them. But to know how to implement them give you a disadvantage, because you will see the code in front of your eyes, and you will be like, oh, I can calculate it. And the fact that you calculate it will take 15, 20 seconds, and you look like you don't know. You know, for someone who is not in that world, they will be like, oh, it took like 30 seconds to answer to that simple question. You know, usually people answer right away. Um, so it's kind of the wrong criteria on their side, but that's the game. So open open that page and don't use any brain power. During an interview, you should have kind of, I won't say maybe five different tabs always open. One about your kind of your storyline, you know, with the bullet points, so you are not missing anyone. Um, write down sentences like why you wanted to join, to join the digital world. You know, it's to make an impact, blah blah blah. Find a good sentence when you are rested. You know, because now it's a good time. You know, you are smart. You have your coffee. You know, it's the right time to write a smart sentences. You can even challenge it with someone else. You know, you have that smart friends, and you ask him, you know, to read it, and he's like, oh yeah, don't don't say stuff here. You know, thing. You know, provide the correct vocabulary. And during that time, you're smart, but during the interview, you won't be smart. You don't have the brain to think about it, you know, and to be as smart as you were before. So trust the previous you and just read the sentence, you know, put some intonation, some acting here, but just read it, you know. And what you need to see is more experience you will get, I would say like in life, more you will see that you don't have unlimited resources. You have kind of 100% of I call it brain power. And at the end of the interview, you will be at 5% because you will have used it. But you need to use it wisely. And wisely, it means not all the things that you can like just read about it, but bam, it's not using any brain power. But when they will ask you a question that you are not prepared for it, this is where you will use your brain power. So if you are still at 90 because before it was all easy, bam, you will be smart here. And you can't be smart about everything inside 45 minutes of intense interview. Yep, so sorting algorithm, I think data structure, you have this, I stop to share my screen. So same thing about data structure. I think, let me find a link. Find a nice scheme. This one might be complicated, but if you studied it's cool. So same thing about data structure. You need to, yeah, this one is easier. When people will tell you like, hey, can you give me 3 or 4 data structure? Oh yeah, let me think about it. Set, definitely. List, queue, and the last one, stack. Look how good I was, you know, I was pretty good. And um, prime is if I'm asking you, if even I'm asking myself, you know, 3 data structure or 4 data structure without the scheme, I have like array, tree, list, and I need to think, you know, I need to find another one, which one I didn't say, etc. I'm using brain power here for something that is not really relevant, you know, it's not, um, I mean, I know them. I don't need, so, yep, having another tab here. Keywords are very important. Like 5 minute preparation before an interview to provide the right keyword for the right job. If you are applying to, earlier on, we were talking about Infosys. So if we are talking about Infosys, you need to have the right keyword for Infosys, which is not the same for Leica. You know, Leica, it's more e-commerce company. So what is the keyword that you want to use for e-commerce company? What are the competitors? You know, you've done some homework. And I think so. Yeah, you can definitely like crunch that interview very easily. And a last thing of a piece of advice I have for you, it's energy. Show me your energy because I've done like a lot of interviews as an interviewer, and at the end of the day, you can have like two resumes that look pretty much the same. And after an interview with someone, you are like, oh no, this one I just don't like him or her. And it's not like you know me. It's I kind of like everybody, so it's not like I don't like him or her. It's more they were passive. So don't be passive. I know it's easy, but don't be passive. So show some energy. Like you're enthusiastic because you are. You are enthusiastic to get that job. You are enthusiastic to work with them. So don't be like, yes, no, it was a difficult time. Yes, just screw you, if you do that. And I've seen it. So show some life. And what I'm saying here is maybe don't do the uh, I don't know embarrassing joke during the first minute. Like I don't know. I won't do any. And I'm kind of an expert of doing embarrassing joke, but don't do one. During the first minute. Wait for 10 minutes. But you can still be nice. Um, and here I will use one example here. It's Mamadou. I was using you. Mamadou is perfect. When you arrive, you always be like, "Hello guys, yeah. Oh, I had not a bad week, but I don't have a good week, but it was cool and I'm so excited to be here." The intonation, his voice, it's kind of is giving us energy. And I want to say like be like Mamadou. Smile also. It's pretty cool to smile because I know we are talking to a fucking screen, but smile because people see your emotion and they are more comfortable with other emotion. If you are looking down like that during the interview, but people will be like, oh, he's on his phone. I don't know, he has a brain. So be I don't want to say like look eye contact inside, the green dot at the top of your screen, but try to look at the screen and smile sometimes. When someone is telling you something, one of the experts I know of is Josh. When someone is saying something, he knocks his head and he's like, yeah. And that's a pretty good skills to have, like, yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, we need to keep children. Children are awful, you need to say, yeah, that's engaging in it and really, like, remember to be active. So drink a coffee, I don't know, put your head on the, like, ice bucket before, but you need to put some energy. And really, I will conclude on that. I've rejected profile because they were too passive, and you know maybe in the real life, they are more active. Maybe the stress of the interview just shut them down, but uh, we need to see that they are active. Interview, it's kind of a window that you're opening on them to see that. And actually, I said I will conclude on it, but I forgot something. Uh, it's as much as they are judging you, you are judging them, and you need to challenge them because when I'm being challenged, I'm more likely to be like, oh, he consider us, And when I'm saying challenge, it's not like look at your financial result last year, and they are pretty tough. This is not a good challenge here. uh, a good challenge is okay. So you are using Django. Why? No, I'm not here to judge, but why it's becomes that choice? Maybe it's because the CTO is very strong with Django. Maybe you change, you consider to change. Why Django in a good way? I want to learn. And asking the why, it's a good challenge, but it gives you more pretext, more stuff to say. And since I'm still concluding and adding more stuff in my conclusion, um, one tricks I will give you here, and it's how I'm. So it depends on people. But how I'm judging people during an interview is how much they adapt. So what I'm doing during interview when I'm interviewing people, and it's not software engineering, I give a bunch of facts at the beginning of interview, from what I consider facts, and really at the beginning. So the other person, first they have kind of sometimes to adapt to myself, to my accent, to me, Um, but what I'm expecting is by the end of the interview that that person integrated the facts and give them back to me, in another way, provide value. Let's say I'm telling you, Quasar, we are in a business of education, which want to train million, and right now we are targeting California. And in California, you have 2 million people who are going through community college. And I will wait, during the interview. And at the end, and what do you think? How can you be, what can be your contribution into California, into Quasar? And here you have room for saying a lot of things. And if you tell me like, oh yeah, I went to community college, and but first, yeah, I've seen that there was those 2 million of people that they are here, and those 2 million needs to be targeted. It's a huge market. But what you need to know is community college are across all the US. So maybe California is a big state, but you have other states that are also kind of big. Community college are also in Canada, and are also in all the, I would say, old England uh, territory. So you have in England, then Australia. So if we succeed to good on community college in California, then we can extend to the US and Canada, then England, maybe Australia. So we have a huge market here. And bam, that's what I want. I wanted, I wanted to see some reusage of what I just said earlier. Um, and that's require brain power. So you need to use that brain power here, not to find the big annotation on salt. Cool? Questions? And yeah, practice. One of the person that is in the full-time program got an interview, and he got rejected during that HR, and he was feeling kind of down, like, oh, I failed. No, you didn't fail. Yeah, oh yes, you failed, but cool, now let's debrief about it and make some adjustment in order to improve. I'm pretty sure you didn't prepare. Oh, yes, I've done some research about the company. Did you write them down? Did you use it during the interview? No. What's the point then, Okay, cool, you've done some research, but if you are not showing them that you've done some research, it's cool. But so you failed. And failing is just the beginning of the road. It's you fail once and you will fail multiple times, but at the end you will succeed. And it all only happens through kind of failure. And because what's failure, it's not about failure, it's about learning. Cool. Questions? Or someone wants to share one amazing interview they had?
I do have a quick question. So this is just pretty much like the boot to season one. Once we finish all the projects in season one, we then pick our route, right? So we can pick full stack or software or data science based off of that, right?
Yep.
Cool.
What do
All
you
right.
want to do?
I'm leaning more towards the software engineering route. Yeah, I'm leaning. That's where I'm leaning right now. So I still should decide that, but that's kind of where I want to go.
Yeah, but where I want to, we are flexible. If after like 2, 3 projects of software engineering, you're like, oh yeah, but I have that dream company that is looking for data science. Well, you can move back to data science. It's not like no, never. Now it's over. You've made the choice. um, And on the other side, I'm completely biased here. So other people who want to do full stack or data science, throw me rocks, but software engineering is the best. Um, yep, cool. Yeah, yeah, it will happen. Um, why my read line? I know you're not yet on. No, it's for Dimitrius. Why do we have my read line?
You're asking me why we have my read line?
Yep.
I'm researching my read line still. We've actually done something kind of similar like this previously. Um, so I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Cool. No, I mean it's an ongoing question. So cool.
To open
Cool. um, no.
I mean, that's a good question because my OS was pretty simple to understand why. Architecture, design, uh, linked list, which was complicated and really uncomfortable with structs, but I haven't figured it out with this one.
What is important here? I won't answer. You need. I think it was Constantine who was asking me that question, and he had a good feeling about it. Like I understand that I don't understand what it is, and the expert here is Jim. He is an expert of understanding that he doesn't understand, and that's really good because it means that you know that you need to spend some time here to dig into it. And I know it's really hard to, especially at the beginning. But I'm saying that I'm an expert on saying like, oh, I don't understand, and there is nothing bad of understanding that you don't understand, because it will give you the time to focus on, hey, that thing I need to spend some time on it, and until it's clear in your head, but there is no stop. You need to push, and I want to say it's one of the main skill of software engineer. It's not You are not born like that. It will come, and the more you will do. My read line is pretty easy because I know that everybody struggle with it, and me the first. When I've done first time using read, I didn't understood why we could do something like that, and now I understand. But now I will be able to understand anyway. Even me, I got confused. Cool. Yep. One thing. So it's kind of in background. Um, I want you, even if you are kind of at the beginning, to start to update your LinkedIn and to put like you are doing some software engineering, etc. Because it's like fishing. You are putting something out there. Maybe tomorrow, or, maybe in 1 hour you will have that Facebook or Amazon interview right now. Interviewer will contact you, or maybe it will happen in 1 month or 2 months. Maybe it will not happen, but it will only happen, if you have that. I'm saying. Facebook and Amazon. I'm kind of wrong. It should be any recruiter because you need to practice. It's very rare to go for the home run, first interview, first job, and everything is done and next, and which I think it's kind of also bad, or depending on your life situation. But you need to get practice and to see a lot of them. So you really need to have a lot of interview, and more comfortable you will be. And yeah, I will finish on that. I want to share with you the best interview as an interviewer I've seen. So I remember about it this morning when we were talking with Josh. Is she was for those who saw me, I'm 6'4", so I'm kind of tall, and so it was a small a short girl. She was maybe 5'6", maybe 5'5". I'm saying that about the context. I was tall. I speak loud and I speak a lot. And that girl was kind of, I don't want to say shy, but introverted. So we went to the meeting room, we started to talk, and I started to ask questions. And she said, like, it's not really like how I want to proceed here. Um, you are hiring me for a general manager position, so let's me running the meeting. She switched, the wording of interview to meeting, and she started to say like, "Hey, let's give me some first impression about everybody. How can I help?" And she ran the meeting, and I saw that thing, like she had so much confidence in herself to run it and to be, the person that we needed to have. So she not just said like, oh, we can do great things together. She was part of the team and dealing with, the management program and solution and what can be the objective, etc. She was that person already. So I know that thing is kind of abstract, especially when you're applying for like first software engineering job, but be um, so confident during the interview that you will be part of the team. And when I'm saying like what would be the next challenge, I'm I will be thinking about the problems that they will have and that we will have and how to solve them. Here, my idea. Have you tried that? Do you want to try that? Do we have the time to do some R&D? I'm in a brainstorming meeting with them. Like I've been hired and I'm on the next step. I'm here to be part of the team and I'm part of the team. So really kind of move to the next step of being judged. I'm not judged anymore. I'm part of the team and I'm ready to do some contribution.
Can I add something, Gaetan?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think one of the things I realized when I was interviewing, like one of the hardest questions to ask, and something that they usually ask you right away is tell me about yourself. And that question usually would take you to the next stage, or they already know like, okay, this guy is not good. So within like 1 to 3 minutes of your response, they typically determine whether or not this person has like all the credentials that they want to move on to. So I think it's a lot of time to like spend on that one question, like tell me about yourself and not ramble, but put in enough information so that way they know like, okay, this guy like your story makes sense. So you can't say like, oh, I used to do this, now I did this, I went to college here. Most of the time they don't really care. They just want you to like tell them something that in their mind they don't have to use any like brain power to connect the dots. And that took me a long time. Like in 2019, I interviewed for like 1,000. I applied for like 1,000 jobs throughout the whole year. I had like 100+ interviews, and like this question drove me nuts to the point where I was just like, I gotta like figure this shit out. Like, it's just driving me crazy. So yeah, just sharing my thoughts.
Yep, anytime, Gina.
Can I add to that really quick here?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Jin's actually right. Interviewing is a skill, and it's something that you really, really have to practice. And when they ask you, tell me about yourself, a lot of people will ramble on about useless information. I was born in the Bay Area, California. I went to high school here. Like, it's crazy. But what you realize is they're interviewing you because they want to know what your skill is. So, in that process of telling them about yourself, you're also telling them why you're a good fit for them. And it's usually the first question, and it will dictate the path in which the interview will go, typically. So that's just what I've learned.
I would say my personal experience interviewing, and I don't have experience with startups or anything really. I always been working for large companies, so I have an interesting experience when I arrived to the country, to the United States, with my potential future just fork into the wrong side of the history, right? Because this was like a really incredible position with Livongo. For you that maybe don't know Livongo is like totally in the diabetes IT industry, and they provide incredible service for people with diabetes and whatnot. So I arrived to the last interview, and the guy is like, you know what? You are perfect for the role. I'm not gonna give you the role because your English sucks. I swear that I cry after that because that was like my dream job, right? I'm like, dude, I'm about to make this happen. I'm just done, and it didn't happen. But then I went to the company where I met Melody, right? And I actually suck a lot, like in many things that they asked me to do. So I was not even as strong for the position as you would imagine. Uh, but I speak Spanish, and it happened to be that a lot of people in the factory speak Spanish, and they were like, "Well, this is cool." So it's not about languages; it's about your strengths, right? So you can be like a lot like very prepared and very ready for a role, but if your lack of one of the strengths, because I think like the guy was right? Like the guy was thinking, you need to face a lot of customers and they might not understand you, right? He was an asshole for sharing that with me. In any case, the way he did, but the truth is that he did it right for the business. So I think I learned after many years. It's just like apply where your strength are gonna be a game changer, and your way in will be so easy, even if you lack so many of the things that they're asking for.
Yep, thanks for sharing. It's always a painful reminder. I talk too much and I'm French, so I really don't like bother if you interrupt me because in our culture, it's part of the thing. Since I'm always talking, if you are waiting for me to shut up, you might be dead before. So really interrupt me, it's cool because your experience is always very important to share. Cool. Do we have anything else, George, then?
No.
Cool. So today was a little less about coding. Even if it was about sorting algorithm, I think I've covered the field. We can go in detail one day more about each sort. What is important is you need to know how to implement them, but you need to have that page open and just say it, and do some acting. It's not hard. Same thing about data structure. You need to know them. If but you don't know what is a set, cool. You know that you don't know, so you need to study it. What is a set? You need to be able to see like, oh, hey, what is the difference between an array and a set, and you need to tell it. You need to. And for me, the best way to learn something is to do it, and especially for you guys who are doers, implement a set. Don't just be like, oh, I'm reading the Wikipedia page. Implement a set. It would be way more. It would be the best investment of time. Yes, it will take an afternoon, but you won't show up during an interview, be extra confident. Like, oh yeah, I'm very good about data structure, and they will just crush you because with a simple question, what is your set? And you thought you knew, but you didn't knew how it was working. So after you would cry, and we would have to spend some time in order to do like, it's not bad, you will learn, blah blah blah. But you will lose some time. It's a good investment. It just you don't know, do it. Quote of the day, January 16. You don't know, do it. So see you later, guys. Enjoy your meal and